never thought we'd do. I'm seeing into you. Oh, you're the shape of all my days. Oh, you're my holy place, and I know. Everything's good.
Please be seated. Before we proceed further, allow me to dispense with some very important formalities. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. I would like to begin by recognizing His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who is represented today by the Permanent Secretary of the Debt Management Office, Mrs. Alake Sanusi. You're welcome. Thank you so much for your time today. I also recognize the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, who is also represented today by the Head of Department, Multilateral Monitoring and Research. You're welcome, Mr. Paul Kanu. We also have joining us today the Honorable Babangida Ibrahim, who is the Chairman of the House Committee on Capital Markets of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time, sir. We also have joining us today, representing the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria, Mr. Lamido Yuguda. He is represented today by Mr. Tilde Isaku, who is the Director of the Office of the DG. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And of course, we have the Chairman of the NGX Group, Otumba Abimbola Ogunbanjo, who is also with us. Thank you so much for your time, sir. We also have the Chairman, of course, of NG Clearing, Mr. Oscar Onyema OON, also with us today. And we have the CEO of NGX Regulation, Ms. Tinuade Awe, also present with us today. And I do believe we have the CEO of NGX Exchange, Mr. Temi Pokola, also with us today. The CEO of NGX Clearing, Mr. Tapas Das, is with us as well. And of course, we have a great spread of the community in Nigeria's capital markets. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all welcome. As I did mention earlier today, that we are all here for the official launch of the premier central counterparty in Nigeria, NG Clearing. My name is Wale Famrewa, and I'm delighted to be helping us navigate today's program. Before I move on further, I want to also acknowledge our virtual audience. We do have people joining us virtually. I know some are watching on YouTube and some other platforms. You're also very welcome, and we look forward to you enjoying today's program as well. I mentioned earlier that I think today is it's an event of national significance. I was just chatting earlier, and I do know that many of us are members of Nigeria's capital market community. Some of us perhaps have been part of it for several decades. And I'm sure many of us will remember the days of the call-over system. And I recall in the mid-90s, that system was disrupted to a large extent as we saw the launch of the Central Securities Clearing System and, of course, the automated trading system. And we've come quite a long way. And as I was reflecting on the history of Nigeria's capital markets today, I thought that today also is a momentous occasion because what we're launching today, I think, has the potential to truly revolutionize Nigeria's capital market as we move on to adding more products into the suite of products that are available today. So you're all welcome. Thank you so much. We will be having a number of special addresses, special remarks, if you like, goodwill messages as well. We'll be hearing from the community in Nigeria's capital markets. But beyond that, we'll also be learning. And part of that will be a panel session that will be focusing on building a resilient financial market. And we'll begin to reflect on the role of NG clearing in that financial ecosystem. So you're all welcome, and we hope that you'll enjoy and be informed. You enjoy the program and, of course, be informed as we move further. So without further ado, we'd like to make today a very efficient event as well. I'd like to now invite the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NG Clearing, Mr. Tapas Das, to just, if you like, set the tone for us as he delivers a brief opening remark. So please put your hands together as he steps forward to deliver his address. If you'll be so kind to continue to clap as he makes his way to the stage. Thank you very much for your generous applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol established by Ole the MC and straight away come to the subject. It is with great delight that I welcome you all to the launch of a new era in Nigerian capital market. As some of you may wonder, what exactly is a CCP and what is the need for having a CCP in Nigeria at this point in time? Let me share with you a brief background to the event that reinforced the importance of CCPs. The global financial meltdown in 2008 left a devastating financial crisis in its wake. Erstwhile resilient markets crashed with unprecedented losses. In February, it was Bear Stearns. In September, it was Lehman Brothers. And suddenly, nobody was settling any trade anymore. In this post-crisis analysis, which was aimed at mitigating the future recurrence of this kind of a crisis, the G20 leaders grouped together in Pittsburgh, and that's where the decision was all standardized derivative contracts, whether exchange-traded or over-the-counter. It is better to get them cleared through a central counterparty who take on the risk of settlement, that way protecting the markets. So that's the background. And central counterparty, as many of you are already aware, is basically a financial market infrastructure that interposes between the buyer and the seller and makes sure they guarantee the settlement, which was the root cause of 2008 crisis. The goal is to reduce systemic risk, promote market integrity, and protect financial markets from exposure to some of the events that led to the crisis in 2008. Now, with Nigeria's capital market poised to offer advanced products like futures and options, it is only ideal to establish a CCP in line with the global best practices, and that's how the emergence of NG clearing. As Nigeria's premier central counterparty, our mandate is very simple. We shall uphold stability and safety of the marketplace through efficient and timely settlement of any trade that we are mandated to clear. This is one single line with which we'll work. At NG Clearing, our aim is to strengthen the country's investment environment through solutions that systematically reduce risks, enhance operating efficiency, and minimize costs for all market participants, thereby contributing to national development. Our vision is to become Africa's most trusted CCP. With this vision in mind, we have left no stone unturned in ensuring that we offer world-class infrastructure, which is transparent, resilient, with resilient processes, and with an experienced team of worthy professionals. Our infrastructure and processes are in compliance with PFMI IOSCO recommendations and can match with the best in class across the globe. This shows our resolve to establish global standards for all our processes. As we begin our journey formally, we wish to reiterate that we are driven by a desire to ensure that advanced financial products are accessible without exposing the system to any kind of systemic risk. I wish to use this opportunity to appreciate all those whose efforts have culminated in this landmark achievement for Nigerian capital market. My profound appreciation goes to the federal government of Nigeria and its agencies for their steadfast support. The Securities and Exchange Commission has been incredibly supportive of our vision, and this demonstrates its unwavering commitment to the development of Nigerian capital market. I thank our chairman and members of the board of directors for their guidance, without which NG Clearing will not have been here today. To my colleagues, I appreciate your dedication, commitment, and drive in making sure that NG Clearing starts on the right note. Our journey has only just begun. To fellow capital market operators and global partners, we assure you of our resolute commitment to driving Nigerian capital market to enviable heights through world-class post-trade services. Thank you very much for your time. Welcome to NG Clearing.
Thank you very much, Tapas. I think for me, what stands out most about what NG Clearing stands for is world-class. So Nigeria is again putting something out there that is world-class, and beyond that, as I mentioned earlier, it does have the power to transform the financial market ecosystem. Please, another round of applause for him. I think he has set the tone nicely to help us better appreciate the significance of today's event. Moving on now, I'd like to again welcome the chairman of the board of NG Clearing, Mr. Oscar Onyema, OON, as he also shares a few words as we proceed with the program. Please, a round of applause for him as he steps forward. Again, I'd like to appeal to all our speakers, actually. I really like the way Tapas set the tone by simply saying all protocol observed. It will help us save some time. It's over to you, Oscar.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I know Wale has said we should rely on the protocol, but there are quite a number of people online that I need to acknowledge, so please allow me. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation of Nigeria, the Governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, the Governor of Lagos State, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, the Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry and Investments, Otumba Adeniyi Adebayo. I know that the Honorable Chairman of the House Committee on Capital Markets, Honorable Babangida Ibrahim, is going to be joining us here. The DG of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and we're going to be hearing from all of these people online later on. The Deputy Governor of Financial System Stability, the Central Bank of Nigeria, Ms. Aisha Ahmed, CFA. The Group Chairman of Hess Holdings, UBA, Transcorp, and founder of Tony Elumelu Foundation, Mr. Tony Elumelu, CON, the Group Chairman of Nigerian Exchange Group PLC, Otumba Abimbola Ogobanjo, the members of the Board of Directors of NG Clearing Limited, our esteemed shareholders, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for honoring us with your presence, both physically and virtually, at this occasion of our company launch event. I am more than delighted to welcome you to the formal launch of NG Clearing Limited. Today's event is an epochal milestone, one whose relevance and impact will reverberate across the financial system. While today signifies the coming of age of the Nigerian capital market, it also marks a transition to an era we have earnestly looked forward to, an era of clear possibilities and opportunities. The NG Clearing dream was born out of a firm commitment to position the Nigerian capital market as a stable and resilient market that offers local and foreign investors sound opportunities without compromising on global standards. On this premise, we took steps to identify the gaps that inhibit our market from attaining this positioning. One of the gaps we identified was the absence of the financial market infrastructure known as the Central Counterparty Clearinghouse, the CCP, which our CEO, Tapas Diaz, has done a very good job of describing how it fits into the financial system. With the establishment of NG Clearing as a CCP, the long-awaited dream of having exchange-traded derivatives in our capital market has now become a reality. As you may be aware, we incorporated NG Clearing in 2016 after conducting a feasibility study to determine whether the Nigerian market is ready for derivatives trading, and earnestly started working towards putting in place the required legislative, regulatory, technical, and operational frameworks to facilitate the proper working of a CCP in Nigeria. All of these efforts culminated in the final approval of the Securities and Exchange Commission earlier this year for us to operate as a full-fledged CCP. We have also worked with ecosystem players, including regulators, clearing members, broker-dealers, etc., to build capacity and prepare them for exchange-traded derivatives. The Nigerian Exchange Group PLC and the Central Securities Clearing System PLC, along with other institutional investors, including the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, brokerage houses represented by ASHON, the Association of Securities Dealing Houses of Nigeria, private equity firm Consonance Kuramo Special Opportunities Fund 1, and key players in the Nigerian banking space, including Access Bank PLC, United Bank for Africa PLC, Union Bank of Nigeria PLC, Coronation Merchant Bank, Greenwich Merchant Bank Limited, and Wall Street Investments Limited, all set out on a journey that has today culminated into the first CCP in West Africa. On this journey, we overcame some interesting challenges, the biggest of which were gaps in legislation. So I must thank legislators for enacting the CAMA 2020 and other legislations that have allowed us to actually arrive at today. As I've reiterated in several engagements, having a CCP is key to the realization of Nigeria's capital market master plan. It opens new doors for all stakeholders, and it will reinforce the existing infrastructure in our markets. Having a CCP also boosts local and foreign investor confidence in our markets while enhancing economic growth and development beyond our expectations. These enhancements will solidify Nigeria's position as Africa's largest economy, as well as a leader amongst emerging markets. At this junction, I thank our regulators, especially the Securities and Exchange Commission, for taking their time to put critical frameworks in place to facilitate the actualization of our CCP dreams. We continue to count on their support to enrich the regulatory and legislative frameworks that will propel our capital market to greater heights. A dream we nurtured has come to life, and I'm proud of all we have contributed, and I'm proud of all who have contributed to this reality. It would not have been possible without the support of the federal government, as noted by the CEO, the Securities and Exchange Commission, approving our rules and working with us throughout every step of the process, and still working with the clearing members to onboard them. Our board and shareholders, major supporting firms who are represented here today, including NGX Group, PLC, who I represent on the board, and the management and entire NGX clearing team, who I was visiting with yesterday at the office, and are very enthusiastic to support derivatives clearing in Nigeria. We are open for business, and we will be launching a number of futures products in the coming months in partnership with our participating exchanges. Please engage with us to learn how you can be part of this innovative growth story. Thank you very much for listening, and again, I welcome you to this launch event.
Thank you very much, Oscar. I think he has really helped us appreciate the effort and really the story behind what we are launching today. It's several years in the making, and no doubt so many people have come together to make it happen. He did recognize the lawmakers and their contribution, and then, of course, the federal government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, another round of applause for Oscar. Thank you very much. All right, so now we're going to listen to the regulator, and this time it will be, as you know, it is a hybrid event, and this time we're going to be showing you a video, and this time we'll be speaking to the director, or hearing rather, from the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria. So I'll just ask that you turn your attention to the screen, and of course, those watching virtually will be able to see as well as we listen to Dr. Lamido Yuguda.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to deliver these remarks at the formal launch of NG Clearing Limited's Central Counterparty Services. First, let me congratulate and commend NG Clearing Limited for achieving this milestone, which signifies the commencement of derivatives trading and clearing services in the Nigerian capital market. This is indeed a historic day for the entire capital market in Nigeria, as the services of NG Clearing will help in deepening the market and placing it on the right path to achieving the required sophistication, depth, and breadth in terms of product and service offerings. The major function of a CCP is the management of counterparty risks by interposing itself between counterparties to contracts traded in one or more financial markets. These counterparties are thus able to transfer unwanted market risks for a fee to market participants that want to assume them. These and other risk management strategies make the CCP a systemically important financial market infrastructure, as it helps in the reduction of systemic risk in financial markets. As the Nigerian capital market grows in size, depth, liquidity, and sophistication, the regulatory role of the SEC becomes even more relevant. The overriding objective of our regulation is to protect investors and ensure that the markets are fair, orderly, transparent, and built on integrity. As the apex regulator of the capital market, with a mandate to develop the market, the SEC will continue to support all efforts aimed at making our markets fair, more efficient, and more transparent. Already, the SEC has provided an enabling environment for the development of an exchange-traded derivatives market through the approval of the enabling rules. This is in furtherance of our strategic objective to advance the Nigerian capital market to a top 20 global market as reflected in the 2015 to 2025 Nigerian Capital Market Master Plan. The Commission will continue to enhance the existing regulatory framework guiding the operations of the market by keeping pace with the evolving changes in market practices, especially with the advent of innovative financial technology, which has significantly altered the ways and means of transacting business in the capital market. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you that the SEC remains ready to provide the required support to all stakeholders of the Nigerian capital market and enjoin them to think innovatively on best ways to leverage the capital market for our nation's socio-economic advancement. We all have a role to play in building the kind of capital market that can adequately contribute to the actualization of Nigeria's dreams and aspirations, whether as investors who supply the needed funds, as regulators who ensure markets are fair and transparent, or as other participants who intermediate. As a financial market infrastructure, NG Clearing obviously plays a critical role in upholding market integrity, which is an important quality of highly efficient capital markets. Once again, I congratulate NG Clearing for the commencement of its CCP services and look forward to the immense benefits it will bring to the Nigerian capital market. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause for the DG. I really like the point he made, and it's so important to highlight what NG Clearing signifies in terms of enabling innovation in the Nigerian capital market. There are certain products that can certainly not be traded without a CCP, and now that we have NG Clearing, I think we are bound to see a lot of interesting products coming into the financial market space. So we look forward to that. And another key enabler of all of that is regulation and laws. If there is no regulatory, if there's no legal framework for what we're doing today, then at the end of the day, we really can't move. So we're really delighted to have joining us today the chairman of the House Committee on Capital Markets, Honorable Babangida Ibrahim, and I'd like to welcome him now as he delivers a brief remark on today's occasion. So can we have Honorable Babangida Ibrahim join us? Please, a round of applause for him. I was trying to spot you, sir. Please, you can come this way. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, the Chairman of the Board and Management of the NG Clearing Limited, and all the invited guests to this making event in the history of nation and Africa at large. We are here today to witness the paradigm shift in the Nigerian financial service sector, the formal launch of NG Clearing, central counterparty services in the Nigerian capital market. Being the first central counterparty in West Africa and the first exchange-traded derivatives in our capital market, it will open opportunity to investors, stakeholders, and other players in our capital market. It will equally manage the counterparty risk, reduce systematic risk, and promote integrity and the safety of our capital markets. I want to commend the Nigerian capital market for this added innovation in their drive to transform the market, make it better, safer, and compete with the global best-in-class post-trade services. I urge the management of NG Clearing Limited and indeed the Nigerian capital market to do all within their purview to sustain this mantra of great initiatives in our market and the consequent outcome to the development of the financial sector and the nation at large. With the area of promoters and backing by big players in the financial market in Nigeria, I believe the NG clearing will grow in leaps and bounds. I must reiterate once again that the House Committee of Capital Market and indeed the House of Representatives is always available to assist in any area of legislation to actualize the vision of the Nigerian capital market to be a world-class market. Finally, while congratulating the board and management of NG Clearing for this giant stride, I wish you all a successful launch and great business endeavor. Congratulations and thank you.
Please, another round of applause for Honorable Babangida Ibrahim. We cannot overemphasize the importance of the support of the lawmakers in making these things happen. Some laws had to be made for this day to really happen. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Earlier, Oscar mentioned that derivatives are coming. And so I think this is a great opportunity for us to hear from the CEO of the NGX Exchange about the NGX derivatives plan. So please welcome with me Mr. Temi Popola as he steps forward to share a few remarks and, of course, give us that update. Please, I think we can do better than that. Can we put our hands together for him? Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and please permit me to stand on existing protocol. On behalf of the Board of Directors and staff of Nigerian Exchange Limited, I welcome you all to this remarkable event. Over the past decade, the landscape for financial market infrastructure has undergone considerable change, and this change has been driven by the combined forces of technological advance, globalization, and regulatory change. We are pleased that the exchange to be part of the history being made here today in the Nigerian and West African capital markets. And on that basis, I congratulate the board and the management of NG Clearing for this successful launch. As a multi-asset exchange, NGX recognizes the importance of a well-developed derivatives market. Consequently, we have worked assiduously to build a market that thrives on innovation and that responds to the needs of stakeholders in accessing and using capital. NGX has developed the right regulatory and technology framework and competence required to support the launch of a standardized exchange-traded derivatives market. Furthermore, our adoption of the best-in-class central counterparty and clearinghouse, NG Clear, further engenders the confidence in the derivatives market amongst market participants, as the clearing infrastructure provided will be of international standards, capable of reducing systemic risk and enhancing market transparency. Many of you are aware that the exchange started its journey to launching derivatives in 2014 with a feasibility study that showed that the Nigerian capital market needed a more sophisticated suite of products, including derivatives. Since then, and has been shared earlier, several milestones have been achieved, including the provision of netting laws in the CAMA Act 2020, which provides a legal framework for the derivatives market to thrive in our country. On top of this as well were approvals from the SEC in granting the approvals for NG Clearing as the central counterparty. The exchange is confident that the derivatives market will complement the existing cash markets and will provide investors and other players with all the necessary tools for tactical asset allocation, risk management, and cost management for effective portfolio management. We have therefore designed derivatives contracts based on market demand and readiness in our efforts to meet the needs of investors. It is exciting to inform you that we have received approval for 7 single stock derivative contracts from the SEC, as well as those futures on 2 indices. We will be rolling out first with the index derivatives. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the fact that these are less risky ways to start a derivatives rollout. And thereafter, derivatives and other instruments and single stocks will follow, and then a few other asset classes. NGX is focused on educating market participants by organizing workshops, webinars, and conferences through our Learning and Development Academy, the X Academy. These activities will continue post-launch, as it is imperative that participants who engage in derivatives have adequate knowledge of these instruments. As far as timing is concerned for the launch of derivatives, all I would say is that we're a few weeks away as we take the lead and help of the apex regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission. In conclusion, let me reiterate that we're excited about the prospect of deepening Africa's position in the global financial markets through derivatives, as well as the ability to enhance liquidity and to mitigate against price, duration, and other financial risks that may arise from sophisticated financial transaction activities. I once again congratulate NG Clearing, and we reiterate our commitment from the exchange to a very successful collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim Pokola, for that. So it's clear, it's in the bag. Derivatives are coming, and NG Clearing is such an important enabler of that process. And earlier I asked, and maybe we can do a brief, should I say, survey in the room. I mentioned the fact that several years ago, before, of course, the CSCS was formed, there was this call-over system. If you don't mind, with a show of hands, how many of us perhaps were around when there was still that call-over system in Nigeria? I'm sure we have some people in the room. Okay, there we go. Quite a few people. So we've come a long way, no doubt. And I'm just wondering if we did not make those bold moves at the time, establish the CSCS, the automated trading system, we probably will even be, the market will have changed so much. I imagine how COVID will have impacted this market. You know, so it's so important that we make those investments in things that can transform the markets. At the end of the day, we all win. So thank you so much, Timmy. It's great to hear the commitment of the NSE to launching derivatives, and we look forward to seeing them happen. So now we're going to learn a little more from those who have done it elsewhere as we transit to a panel session, which will be broadcast virtually as well. And to moderate that session, we have the president of CCP 12, Theo Floor. He is the moderator, and others that you'll be listening to very shortly include the CEO of the GSE Clear, which pretty much is the NG Clearing of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, Alicia Greenwood. We also have the CEO of MCX CCL, Narendra Al-Hawat, who also will be giving us some perspective from Asia, from a CCP. And then we have the CEO of the NSIA, the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, Uche Orji, also participating in that conversation. Now, I really like the NSIA, the way they continue to put their support behind market transforming infrastructure. No doubt, this is another commitment to that. And then finally, last but certainly not least, we have the CEO of the FX Commodities Exchange, Ayodeji Balogun. So I'll now ask you to turn your attention to the screen as we engage with our moderator and panelists.
Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure today to be moderating a panel to discuss the launch event of an exciting new central counterparty in Nigeria, NG Clearing. My name is Theo Floor. I'm the CEO of the Global Association of Central Counterparties, also known as CCP 12, and I'm honored today to present a panel with 4 distinguished speakers. We have 4 CEOs with us today. We have Uche Orji, the CEO of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority. We have Adeoti Balogun, the CEO of AFEX Commodities Exchange, Alicia Greenwood, the CEO of JSE Clear, and Narendra Ahlawat, the CEO of the Multi-Commodities Exchange Clearing Corporation. These panelists will share experiences and discuss the future of commodities clearing in particular, and I'm delighted to be able to ask them a few questions today at this launch event. Aoyedi, my first question would be to you. AFIX is on a path to building Africa's second commodities derivatives market. Knowing that clearing and risk management are germane processes in the commodities derivatives market, how do you think NG Clearing Limited service offerings would help AFIX in achieving this?
Thank you very much, Theo. It's indeed a pleasure to be here, to be part of this history being made. We all understand the clearing settlement system. The CCP is the risk manager for the entire market, particularly when it comes to derivatives. So it's that entity that sits in and through structures and regulations and policies ensures that all the parties' interests are taken and ensures that every trade can be settled clearly and effectively. Now, for the context of Africa, particularly Sub-Saharan Africa, and our vision at AFIX to be the reference commodity for when we thinking there are two big things that the CCP does. So first is that when you have the entire risk in commodities is based on quantity and price. So is the quantity available and is there the quality that is required? Second is what is the risk on price. What the derivatives market does is to help manage and hedge the price component of the risk, which is primarily the biggest one that a producer or a processor in the value chain or a hedger doesn't have control on. When you're able to then lock the price risk, you can then flow in liquidity and financing into the space, which is something the African commodity space absolutely needs. So we are very bullish that once we have a functioning derivatives market, a functioning CCP behind the derivatives market, we will start to see influx of capital to develop the commodity space in Africa. The second part of what the CCP would also help do is that you would have investors taking a view on commodities and going long and short against this instrument. Now, what this does is to be able to help manage the entire risk for the market and ensure that all trades are settled, but also create a new asset class for the continent, particularly in a country like Nigeria, where we've almost all traded the classical pure vanilla instruments over the last year. So this will foster creation of new products for the market. Thank you, too.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. To follow up on that question, can you give an overview how your exchange's products can be used by different types of market participants, whether they're traders, portfolio managers, ultimate end users? What kinds of use cases will these products have for the ecosystem?
So we're starting new, particularly on the derivatives market. Our market is about 5 to 6 years old, which is young, in the context of commodities trading globally. The way we think about our product development is first fundamentally to solve problems of users, and the first primary user, in our context is the hedger, be it the farmer that is producing the commodities and wants to manage its price risk 6 to 9 months. Head out, be it the processing company that is going to buy commodity 12 months in a year, and then would have that price volatility, which is up to 35-40% on the continent. But then, because agriculture in Sub-Saharan Africa is primarily rain-fed, so production is once, supply is once, and then demand and supply drives up that volatility. So, what we are doing is first we'll have two core product categories. The first is going to be the commodity delivered derivatives contracts, where you're getting into a commodity position with a primary focus of physical delivery, physical settlements of the underlying. And that is a need for our markets, and is one of the uniqueness that we see in this part of the world. And that the hedger is not just hedging the price rates, but also wants assurance of the physical delivery. And we expect that will be probably about 60% to 70% of the trades in the market will first start in physical deliveries. And then over time, that number will either skew up or skew down as the market matures. We'll also have cash settled derivatives contracts that are primarily designed for cash settlement. So this is going to sort of, go primarily to people that have a view on commodities, want to use it as an investment, and want to take an advantage of price arbitrage. And part of the reason to split this out is to first, like I mentioned, solve the fundamental problem of cost of production, inflation, and smoothing out demand and supply volatilities. But also, secondly, to ensure that we limit the risk in the system and we don't have a market where there is an overrun of speculation activities, and then that sort of has an impact on prices of underlying commodities, which is going to be either food or raw materials to the industry.
Very interesting. Thank you very much. I suppose that in some sense what we're saying is that the uncertainty in the underlying prices can be mitigated through these contracts, but the way that that's achieved is by having the safe CCP that arranges for settlement as agreed on the exchange. And to that, I would turn to a much older CCP for Alicia. CCPs are a risk management mechanism, and they seem to be very good at it. You have a long and storied experience in different markets. Would you have any examples of how CCPs have managed extreme events from the past?
Thank you, Tia, and good afternoon to everyone. Well, thankfully, the JSE Clear itself has not had to experience a material default of a clearing member itself, but there certainly have been a number of examples globally where there have been defaults that have been very well managed by CCPs who, as you mentioned, do of course have the core objective to manage counterparty credit risk effectively and transparently. I think some of the better known examples to the audience might be Bearings in 1995 or Enron in 2001. Lehman's is obviously probably the most well-known example, and more recently we had MF Global. In nearly all of these cases of big defaults, CCPs handle the defaults by closing out or transferring the positions of the defaulters without impacting other participants, and using the margin or the resources of the defaulter itself to cover the losses incurred, and thereby protecting other participants in the market. In the Lehman's case, CCPs have been described as the unlikely heroes for their handling of this particular default. When Lehman's defaulted in 2008, there was massive market turmoil which ensued. And one of the reasons for this was that there was a very complex and opaque web of privately traded, uncleared credit default swaps, which really amplified the crisis to extreme levels. And these trades were completely non-transparent, and they were under-collateralized, and they were poorly risk managed. And this is where the massive losses eventually arose from. In contrast to that, though, as the bilateral markets fell into complete disarray once Lehman's was declared insolvent, the cleared derivatives markets continued to operate. Where Lehman's positions were held with CCPs, and there were a number of CCPs involved at the time, the CCPs themselves proved to be resilient. They continued to clear the contracts even when the bilateral markets dried up in that crisis situation. The CCPs acted quickly. They managed trillions of dollars of the Lehman's portfolio that was in their books. And in all the cases, I think with one exception, these positions, these defaulted positions, were all auctioned or liquidated or transferred within weeks of the default without exhausting the capital, or the collateral rather, that these CCPs actually held from Lehman's itself. So as an example, at LCH, I believe that there was around $9 trillion in notional exposure that was unwound and managed without any losses to any other counterparties involved in that CCP setup. And that is a phenomenal achievement, considering that at the end of it all, Lehman's reported losses of around $4 billion, mostly, almost entirely through non-CCP or uncleared portfolios. Thanks, Tia.
No, thank you very much. I suppose that kind of experience has been one of the reasons why various standard-setting bodies and regulators, ranging from the IMF to specific national securities markets regulators or commodities markets regulators, have been so keen to promote or even mandate clearing. Do you have any sense for how to quantify some of the benefits of clearing?
Certainly. I think it is quite a difficult task to quantify the full benefits of clearing, given that there are so many factors that influence the performance of a capital market, as I'm sure the audience will be very well aware of. But we certainly are trying to do that, and there are some numbers that I could throw out to the audience. One of the biggest benefits, especially for smaller markets, is the amount of market development that CCPs can bring. And I think the Japanese CCP is a very good example of this. They launched in 2011, and since then, the CDS volumes that they clear have increased a whopping 23 times. They have seen quite significant increases in their other asset classes as well, but that is the one that stands out as very impressive. Over and above this, they've also had significant growth in the number of foreign or non-Japanese clearing participants in their markets, which is, I think, something that all of us as smaller markets aspire to, keeping that international investment and interest in our markets. And the Japanese, through the CCP offering, saw an increase in foreign parties from 6 to 17 affiliates, and clients, they had no clients when they started, up to 30 clients over a 10-year period. A CCP is also a very important consideration of the large global tier 1 banks and trading brokers. For me, in the South African context, this is a very, very important consideration. I'm sure it is for Nigeria as well, to keep those tier 1 banks interested in your market. And a recent study interviewed 12 of these entities, all the big names that we know well. And without fail, they all said that the existence of a CCP was a prerequisite for them to become members and to have material activity in a particular market. Very few of them would really consider membership in a market without a CCP. These big internationals are insisting on this presence because besides the transparency and the robustness in risk management that the CCP brings, it can also be significantly cheaper for them to operate through a CCP. The cost of centrally clearing OTC derivatives is materially lower than bilateral clearing in markets where there has been regulatory reform incentivizing central clearing. And there are many studies showing that bilateral clearing is anywhere between 3 to 10 times more expensive than CCP clearing, with the majority of these additional costs relating to regulatory capital costs. So again, if we think about the responses from the international banks, they are simply not going to be interested in trading in a place where the return cannot cover this vastly more expensive cost of trading that non-CCP clearing or bilateral clearing would present to them. But over and above this, investors can also reap material benefits in margin offsets when a full set of asset classes are cleared through the same CCP. And the ability to portfolio net across asset classes and apply portfolio margin has been found to materially reduce overall margin. And again, there are many examples, but for example, in Australia, they have found that portfolio offsetting can reduce overall margins by up to 40%. At CME, in some portfolios, we've seen that reduction to be up to 80%. So a very material benefit to investors in any market. So it is well known that CCPs contribute significantly to market liquidity by not only reducing the cost of trading, but also by acting as a hook for international counterparts to trade meaningfully. And of course, everyone benefits from increased liquidity, not just the CCP itself. And for me, this is really an essential objective for all African capital markets to remain relevant and viable and thriving.
You've convinced me. Thank you very much, Alicia, for that very sort of broad and global overview of these different aspects of clearing. In terms of the last point that you raised in terms of the fostering the liquidity and its broader impact on the economy, Narendra, you run the key commodity clearing corporation in India with enormous volumes and a vast participant group. Do you have any thoughts on how the CCP in that market has contributed to higher volumes or the economy more broadly? Would you have any insights that you could share with us from your CCP?
Yeah, certainly to you. Yeah, certainly to you. We all are aware that the commodity exchanges and the stock exchanges, basically they are institutions which lead to bringing all the participants together and providing a venue for all the participants to, in case of cash markets, buying and selling, and in case of derivative markets, hedging their risk and portfolios. And the CCPs, that's where the CCPs come in. A market, a stock exchange, and a commodity exchange, for that matter, is as good as the trust that is there behind for the guarantee of the trades that are executed. So this is where the CCPs play a very important role. It is because of the CCPs and the guarantee that they provide for the settlement that the participants are able to enter trades and match their orders without worrying about who the counterparty is on the other side, and that is how the liquidity basically builds up. Imagine a situation where one has to do a due diligence of the counterparty and then enter into CCP's counterparty guarantee and the risk management, that the exchanges are able to garner that kind of a liquidity and the big order books that they run. Secondly, the cost of trading, I think, is a very important part of this game. As Alicia mentioned, the cost of trading in the cleared contracts is much lower than the bilateral clearing, and it is because of this less cost of clearing that the participants come to the stock exchanges in general and the commodity exchanges. The other aspect there too is, and how does this cost of trading basically come down? The CCP employs various tools which includes, let's say, multilateral netting, portfolio-based margining, so that there is right amount of margining, neither an over margining nor an under margining. It would be very let's say safest to always take 100% margin before letting anybody trade, so that you are 100% safe, but that would dissuade so many participants from trading. So that's where the CCPs come in, so that they are able to have their models worked out to levy only the optimum margin, so that the cost of trading and transactions for the participants is minimal. That is for the liquidity, and if you take it as a national economy, how does it benefit? We, in case of course, the stock exchanges, I think we are all aware of the participants. They invest in the equities only because they are aware that at any point of time there is a great amount of liquidity in the exchanges, and they can exit and cash their holdings, and that is how the capital of the economy gets built up, and people are able to invest into equity of various businesses. That is from the equity markets perspective. When we look at from the commodity, it has actually another angle to it, if you really ask me. There there are so many businesses in the economy who would want to hedge their risk on the output side as well as on the input side. And if there are umpteen number of cases where the businesses have failed because there were a huge amount of mismatch between the output and the input costs, because they were not able to hedge the either they have not able to, or they have not even thought of hedging their input or output costs. So the commodity exchanges provide a venue for these entities to hedge their costs, hedge the input or the outputs costs, and thereby these businesses, instead of going out of business and failing, more and more such businesses thrive. And that's how the economy benefits. And on top of that, the businesses, they can then concentrate on their core competence. If, let's say, there is a entity whose core competence is let's say processing, they would rather concentrate on how to make their processes efficient and work out a good output, rather than bothering about whether whether they will finally be able to produce that particular output, considering the cost that may arise in the future. So in a nutshell, I believe that the clearing corporations play a very important role in building the liquidities on the exchanges, and thereby giving a great amount of push to the economy in general for any nation.
Thank you very much. Very, very interesting. As part of this focal role in fostering sort of broader economic development, I mean, how do you see the future of clearing? What do you think is in store for what CCPs will do? Will they need to change, or will their use be greater or lower in the future?
Yes, Theo. Definitely, as we speak, there are a lot of clearing corporations which are today clearing only the exchange traded derivatives and contracts. I think the way forward is for the clearing corporations in various geographies to start trading the over-the-counter OTC derivatives as well, and a lot of them have already started doing that. The interest rate derivatives, credits, derivative swaps, and all that, all these are getting cleared in some of the geographies. So my sense is that the clearing corporations world over in various geographies will have to start doing that and not restrict themselves to only the exchange traded derivatives. This is going to be the benefit to the economy as a whole, because this will reduce the cost of hedging. On the other side, one trend that I'm seeing is that the settlement cycle, the clearing corporations are bound by reducing the settlement cycle for the trades that are executed. Over the years, we have seen that the settlement cycles have gone from T+7 to now T+2. Most of in the cash market we are seeing, most of the geographies have a T+2 settlement cycle. But due to the technological development and the speed of the transactions, even in the banking sector, we are seeing that since the money is moving faster, there is no reason why the securities can also not move faster, and there is a move towards reducing the settlement cycle. This will definitely free up lot of capital in the intermediaries, which can be more gainfully used, as well as the collaterals, that because the lesser systemic risk and outstanding positions, less collateral will have to be posted by these clearing members, which will ultimately benefit the industry and the economy as a whole. Another trend that I'm seeing is that you will find that a lot of geographies which are currently not having clearing corporations slowly they are setting it up, and my sense is so there will be probably two trends there. One is the established clearing corporations will probably help them set up their own independent clearing corporations and processes, as is happening in NG clearing as we are seeing. But another trend could be that cross-border clearings. I think that is another trend that may come up. So across geographies, the clearing corporations could be doing that. Of course, depending on how what are the barriers in of course the movement of capital and all that will of course decide the pace of this cross-border clearing. So these are some of the trends, and from the clearing corporation's perspective, the way technology is moving and the speed at which the trades are taking place in the exchanges, I'm seeing that many of these clearing corporations and the exchanges are now turning more to be technology companies in addition to just being the clearing corporations, because they are now handling such vast amount of technological platforms and which have to be reliable and which have to be dependable. So a lot of capabilities of the clearing corporations will have to be built in providing the business continuity and without glitch-free operations, and of course the cyber security needs to be handled by these clearing corporations. From a technology perspective, maybe the trends are towards even having cloud databases rather than standalone data centers. So I think technology is going to be one of the key areas where the clearing corporations will have to probably focus. So that's what I have to say about the future.
What a vista. Thank you so much. Cycling back to Nigeria, I'd have a question or two for Uche. So from the previous panelists, we've heard about particulars of product development that is expected to be fruitful in Nigeria. We've heard about a rich and international experience from Alicia and the benefits that CCPs conceptually can create, but also the way that they can bring in international participants into a particular market. And Narendra has given us lots to think about in terms of the benefits of centralized markets and centralized clearing, both for the development of an economy as well as a look to the future of what might be key issues and trends in clearing. Uche, what would be your thoughts for the development of the Nigerian financial center and commodities clearing in an international context?
Well, I think it's I'll agree with the comments made by the panelists on both scores. On the one hand, I think the value that this creates in terms of developing a local ecosystem is extremely important and cannot be underestimated. Be it in price discovery in commodities, be it in price discovery in equities, or be it in mobilizing people who hitherto have been reluctant to join the capital markets because of, maybe making sure that the risk elements across the entire market is rightly dimensioned. It will create that value, and that's the local market. But more importantly also, I think we have all seen the value of being part of a wider international financial market system and the value that can bring. And you see it in certain markets, and it's the reason why markets like London, South Africa, Johannesburg markets, New York are very well developed, Chicago in many ways. But you add yourself being part of a global financial ecosystem. And as we see capital flows now into emerging markets becoming more sophisticated, a very well-functioning financial market system is extremely important for Nigeria and for our role in international markets. I mean, when I think about what this could mean, we have actually seen cross-country mergers, cross-border mergers of financial markets. And that's just to speak to the fact that, you don't work and do these things in isolation. So do I see this as a very important part of Nigeria's ability to become part of a global financial ecosystem? Yes. And I think that this is something that I hope that the NG Clearing does well. Within the NSI, the organization I run, we have broad international collaborations that I think have been a part of our DNA, and I expect that to be an extension of the DNA of the way NG Clearing operates.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all your time and for your insights today. I wish both you and, of course, our member NG Clearing all the best for their launch. I congratulate them on their convening of so many interesting conversations already. We look forward to their great participation in our global association. And, of course, we wish them all the best for the start of their services. Good luck, and hope that we're in touch very soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think this is in history being made. I wish NG Clear so many years of market development, growth, and capacity building for the entire market. It is exciting times for the entire capital market. Thank you.
Alicia.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all, and thank you for inviting me to the panel. I definitely am very supportive of the establishment of CCPs, and I'm delighted that Nigeria is taking this path. It's certainly one that we as South Africa are also wanting to more aggressively chase for our markets. And so really wish you all the best and hope that it brings the level of market development to your environment that it should.
And Narendra, please.
Thank you, NG Clearing, for organizing this and giving me the opportunity to interact with the panelists and exchange ideas. And I congratulate NG Clearing for starting this journey and wish you all the best. I'm sure that your success is going to contribute to the market and the economy as a whole. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Please, another round of applause for the panelists. Theoflo did a great job in coordinating that conversation. I believe there are so many takeaways. For me, one of the biggest ones is the impact of a CCP in terms of market development. We heard about how it can really energize the commodity trading space, liquidity in terms of driving more liquidity in the markets in general. And then I thought it was quite interesting the point made about cross-border clearing, the future of CCPs. Very well done to our panelists. Very shortly we'll be providing some musical entertainment for you, but before that I would just like to also welcome to deliver a brief remark, the chairman of NGX Group PLC, Otumba Abimbola Ogubanjo. Please put your hands together for him as he steps forward.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My predecessors have already established the protocols and have abridged them, so I'll just jump straight into my remarks. Today is a very special day in the life of the Nigerian financial and capital markets. Not just because it marks the beginning of a new era of clear possibilities, but because It signals the readiness of our market to take a deserved position amongst globally renowned financial markets. The launch of NG Clearing Limited today ushers in the long-awaited prospect of having exchange-traded derivatives in our market, and is in part fulfillment of NGX Group's corporate strategy and vision to be Africa's preferred exchange hub by increasing our asset efficiency. The availability of derivatives as an asset class contributes towards the development of the Nigerian economy by providing links between cash markets, hedgers, and speculators. The primary purpose of a derivatives exchange is its ability to provide liquidity and price discovery mechanisms in order to transfer the underlying risks amongst market participants who have varying roles in the economy. The experience of emerging markets such as Thailand, Turkey, South Africa, as well as those of Korea, Malaysia, Brazil, and India, reveals that innovation and growth in derivatives activities over the past 20 years has yielded substantial benefits in terms of market expansion and overall economic development. Exchange-traded derivatives have facilitated the access of businesses to international capital markets, lowering their costs of funds and diversifying their funding sources. Thus, derivatives have served to support capital inflows and improve the competitive position of firms in an increasingly competitive global economy. In view of the experience gleaned from other developing markets mentioned earlier, and the current lack of risk products in our clime, there is strong reason to believe that initiating exchange-traded derivatives will channel more capital, participants, products, and foreign direct investment to the Nigerian market. Exchange-traded derivative products are critically dependent on the establishment of a CCP, which functions in line with global best practice, and it was on this premise that the NGX Group, alongside other visionary institutions and investors in the private and public sectors, in 2016 initiated the establishment of the first CCP in West Africa to be a market infrastructure which would be communally owned by key strategic capital market stakeholders. At NGX Group, our firm view is that a sound market infrastructure such as NG Clearing Limited will stimulate derivative trading, thereby enhancing liquidity in the Nigerian financial market. Because derivatives are complex instruments that require sophisticated risk management systems and appropriate regulations with the required checks and balances, with the active presence of NG Clearing as a CCP in the transaction cycle, we have crossed the most significant milestone necessary for the establishment and efficient running of a derivatives market. It is only a matter of time till we begin to see manifest and latent impacts of this laudable market infrastructure on the economy and people of Nigeria. We believe that Nigeria's exchange-traded derivatives initiative will eventually develop into a robust marketplace that can support our growth ambitions. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you most warmly for your attention, and I take this opportunity to warmly congratulate the board, management, and shareholders of NG Clearing on achieving this very sacrosanct milestone in the history of the Nigerian capital market. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ogunbanjo. Please, another round of applause for him as he steps back to his seat. I think he said it very well when he said we have crossed a significant milestone in terms of unleashing the possibilities that derivatives markets can bring to this market. Before I just invite the person that will be entertaining us very shortly, and I will be speaking about him in a bit. I just want to recognize a few people who are in the room, starting with the chairman of NGX Regulation, Mrs. Catherine Echerozo, my apologies. And then we also have the representing the Director General of PENCOM, the Executive Commissioner Technical, Mr. Anyim Nyerere. Please, a round of applause for him. Can I see him? All right. And then we have Mr. Bola Jomale, the CEO of the NESD, also with us. Thank you so much, Bola, for joining us. And the CEO of the CSCS, Mr. Haruna Jallo Waziri, is also with us. It's always great to see you. And the CEO of the Lagos Commodities and Future Exchange, Mr. Akin Akeredolu, also is with us today. So you can see the interest is wide, and I was wondering what was about to happen there. Okay, we can see that the interest is quite wide. It's really transformational in terms of what NG Clearing can do for this market. All right, so as we continue with today's program, I'd like to now invite to give us some light, if I can use the word, musical entertainment, none other than Johnny Drill, who is a Nigerian singer and songwriter. And for your information, he just put out his album titled Before We Fall Asleep. I think you're going to enjoy this. Please, if you can, put your hands together for him as he steps forward for his presentation. All right, this is entertainment, so I think we can bring a little more energy. Please put your hands together for him again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Hi, everyone. My name is Johnny Drill again, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me here. Anyways, I'm going to be doing a couple of songs some of you are familiar with, some probably not, but let's just have fun together. This first one is called Shine. Have you seen the sun? Have you seen the moon? They are shining light for you. Have you seen the stars shining in the dark? 'Cause God is still watching you. Life is beautiful, however you choose. Be grateful for life. Love is beautiful whenever I'm with you. What a time to be alive. In no matter the condition, you just believe in your heart and you go there, right? No forget, say after rainfall, and after the dark, the sun goes shine. Keep your heart, my friend, don't lose yourself. In the morning time, the sun will shine. Do your best, but don't lose yourself. 'Cause in the morning time, see, have you ever seen the love in a mother's eyes when she holds her little one? Have you ever seen the joy in a father's pride in a son he truly loves? Wherever you go, remember, make you shine your light, reach December. Never lose your soul. Whatever you do, remember, stay humble and cool your temper. No forget your home. 'Cause in no matter the condition, you just believe in your heart and you go there, right? No forget, say after rainfall, and after the dark, the sun will shine. Keep your heart, my friend, don't lose yourself. In the morning time, the sun will shine. Do your best, but don't lose yourself. 'Cause in the morning time, the sun will shine. Your light, it will show you the road. It will lead you home. Hold on tight and learn to fight now that you're on your own. It go hard sometimes, you go for it sometimes, you won't understand. Devil go, they try, but you go there, alright. You are in safe hands. See, in no matter the condition, You just believe in your heart and you go there, alright. No forest say after rainfall and after the dawn. So keep your heart, my friend. Don't lose yourself in the morning time. The sun will shine. Do your best, but don't lose yourself, 'cause in the morning time the sun will shine. Ah, yeah, the sun will shine. Oh, the sun will shine. It is almost breaking down here. The sun must shine. The sun will shine.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, this next one is a pretty special song to me. It's one of the songs of my new album. So this is me saying, if you haven't listened to it, you can go check it out. It's called Before We Fall Asleep. This next song is called Sweet as a Mother's Love.
Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes your stars collide. Pull me back on the right track, babe, just in time. Yeah. I never knew a love like this, no, no, could ever exist, no. That's when you know. Yeah, yeah. Sweet, sweet, sweet as a mother's love. Sweet, sweet, sweet as a mother's love. You know it's not easy. You know it's hard to find. But you gave me the heart to make a new start just in time. Yeah, I never knew a love like this, no, no, could ever exist, no. That's when you know. What happened to the music? Sweet, sweet, thank you. Sweet as a mother's love. Sweet, sweet, sweet as a mother's love. Right. Oh yeah, 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 oh yeah. If you don't mind, you can just clap along with me. Thank you. Sweeter than sugar, sweeter than honey, sweeter than all of the things you can buy with your money. Oh, she gives her all and asks for nothing in return. That's when you know. That's when you know. Yeah. Sweet, sweet, sweet as a mother's love. Oh, yeah. Sweet, sweet, sweet as a mother's, sweet as a mother's love. Sweet as a mother's love.
Thank you. All right, this one is a pretty popular one, and if you know it, it's called Paradise by Phil Collins. Just sing along with me, all right?
Da 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 da, da, da. She calls out to the man on the street. Sir, can you hear me? It's cold and I've nowhere to sleep. Is there somewhere you can tell me? He walks on and doesn't look back. He pretends he can hear her. Starts to whistle as he crosses the street. Seems embarrassed to be there. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise. Oh, think twice, it's just another day for you. You'll be in paradise. Just think about it. Oh, just think about it. Oh, just think about it. See, she calls out to the man on the street. He can see she's been crying. She got blisters on the soles of her feet. She can walk, but she's trying. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you. You've been in paradise. Da, 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 da. Just think about it. Oh, just think about it. Just think about it. Thank you so much. My name is John the Drill. You guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. I thought that was great. What do you think? Please, can we put our hands together for him again? I was thinking that I think the music went off so we could hear your voice, you know, so that we could really feel it.
Okay.
So really good. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Please, another round of applause for Johnny Drill. All right. Before we take our next speaker, I just want to recognize a few more people, starting with Mr. Adewale Oshinowo, who is the immediate past Commissioner for Finance in Ogun State. And he is representing Senator Ibikunle Amosun, who is the chairman of the Senate Capital Markets Committee. So, Mr. Adewale Oshinowo, if I can find you, sir. Okay, there you are. So please, a round of applause for him. Thank you so much. We also have Mr. Egwu, who is from the Nigeria Commodities Exchange. He is representing the Managing Director, Mrs. Zahira Baba Ari. I saw him earlier. Mr. Egwu? Okay, he's over there. Please, a round of applause for him as well. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation today. Moving on now, we would like to hear from His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, and we're delighted that we have representing him here today, the Permanent Secretary of the Debt Management Office of Lagos State. Please welcome with me Mrs. Alake Sanusi as she steps forward to deliver His Excellency's address. Please, a round of applause for her. Well, she is representing him, right? Please, a round of applause for her as she steps forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Governor of Edo State, the representative of the Secretary to the Federal Government, the honorable members here present, Mr. Governor, I would like to extend the apologies of Mr. Governor. He would have loved to be here with us, but for other pressing state commitments. But he has asked me to deliver his remarks. I am honored and delighted to witness this historic event, the grand launch of NG Clearing Central Counterparty services in the Nigerian capital market. It is historic because I am informed that NG Clearing will be the first to be established as a central counterparty in the West African sub-region. I will therefore congratulate the chairman, board of directors, the promoters of NG Clearing investors for this pioneering achievement, which we are all gathered here to celebrate today. The significance of this achievement lies in the expected impact in terms of accelerating the growth and development of the Nigerian capital market, resulting from improved transparency, efficiency, competitiveness, and increased volume of trade. As we all know, a strong and efficient capital market plays a critical role in achieving economic growth and development of a nation through access to long-term capital for the expansion of operational capacity in the real sector and infrastructural development. It is in this light, and given the current state of our economy, that an initiative such as this will contribute to strengthen the capital market and must be commended and encouraged. Given the opportunities the capital market has provided for us as a subnational government to execute our infrastructural development programs, we are truly excited about the prospect this development promises with regards to improving the capacity of the capital market to support growth and development. On behalf of the government and people of Lagos State, I felicitate with the chairman, Mr. Oscar Oyema, the MD, Mr. Tapas Das, board of directors, management and staff of NG Clearing Limited on the attainment of this new status. I thank you for listening. Mr. Babajide Olu-Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Sanusi. Please, another round of applause for her as she goes to her seat. Thank you very much indeed. We really appreciate His Excellency the Governor speaking to us today. Moving on now, we would like to listen to the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment in Nigeria, Otumba Adeni Adebayo. And this time we'll be listening virtually, so I would like to again turn your attention to the screen as we receive the Minister.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to address you on this special occasion. First, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you at this historic event. I would like to commend the leadership of NG Clearing Limited for filling a vital gap in Nigeria's investment environment by providing solutions that systematically reduce risk, improve operating efficiency, reduces costs for all market participants, and serves as a motivator for national development. We must agree that this is another significant milestone recorded by the Nigerian financial market following the successful registration of NG Clearing Limited as Nigeria's main central counterparty, CCP, by the Securities and Exchange Commission. This notable achievement is critical and a much-needed financial market infrastructure, which redefines the landscape for financial transactions as we know it, introducing endless possibilities to the scope of permissible products that can be developed and deployed within the financial ecosystem, ultimately ensuring the Nigerian economy's long-term prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nigerian financial market is one of the strongest on the continent and a key value that defines our competitiveness as an economy, particularly with the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Our economy is growing, and with the African Continental Free Trade Area, the establishment of a strong risk mitigating infrastructure is essential to enhance our gains from the financial service sector across Africa. The launch of the CCP couldn't have happened at a better time because it will strengthen Nigeria's ability to unlock growth by accelerating responsible and sustainable investment to increase our industrial capacity, increasing productivity, and becoming more globally competitive. I am personally interested in these potentials, especially in stirring the creation of new products, increased investor confidence, and laying the groundwork for long-term product viability. Finally, I would like to congratulate NG Clearing Limited. It is my expectation that the launch of this system will effectively play the middleman between counterparties to financial market transactions. Whilst wishing you all a fruitful celebration of this milestone, I thank you for your time and unwavering commitment to our great economy. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for your message. And then we'll now move very quickly to receive the message also from another minister, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed. So please again, turn your attention to the screen.
Good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Special recognition to the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, Executive Governors, Honorable Ministers, Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, other heads of agencies that are here today, and members of the board of the directors of the NG Clearing Limited, ladies and gentlemen. The launch of the NG Clearing Limited is indeed a momentous one and an epoch-making occasion in the history of our financial markets. NG Clearing could not have come at a more appropriate time than now that our nation seeks economic recovery from the biting impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Certainly, the Nigerian capital market has a critical role to play in meeting the capital market and infrastructure needs of the nation, including mobilizing and channeling medium to long-term investment funds, which are crucial to Nigeria's growth and development. A robust capital market correlates strongly with enhanced growth, economic stability, and more competitive economy. With the NG Clearing Limited as a central counterparty CCP in the Nigerian capital market, we are assured of a more speedy economic recovery post-COVID-19. We also hope to be able to attain better risk management systems and a stronger financial market. Again, with NG Clearing, we are confident that our markets will be bigger, safer, and stronger. The establishment of the NG Clearing Limited as West Africa's first CCP will not only bring enormous opportunities for investors and stakeholders in our markets, it will also position the Nigerian market for global competitiveness. The Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning is committed to promoting the emergence and development of key institutions and infrastructure that will drive growth in the Nigerian capital market. We will also support and collaborate with NG Clearing Limited in its work to promote financial system stability. We are excited about the possibilities of the central counterparty that is being floated by NG Clearing. We're excited about what it will bring to our markets today and in the many years to come. We congratulate the NG Clearing Limited on the launch of its CCP business line and look forward to a stronger, more robust, and a more efficient capital market that will facilitate growth and development of our economy. I wish you all a successful deliberations and thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for your message. And we do have a few more virtual messages, but I just want to remind us that we are moving on to, if you like, the highlights of today's program, which is the declaration of NG Clearing Open, and that will be done, of course, by the representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. But before that, we'd like to also listen to a few remarks from His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, and then right after that, we'll also listen to a video message from the Chairman of Heirs Holdings, Mr. Tony Elumelu.
I am delighted to join so many chief executives of major financial institutions in Nigeria and many prominent individuals in the Nigerian capital markets today. This reminds me that I'm still a part of your constituency. I'm also very excited to see how the stock market has dramatically progressed in the last decade to a position where we are now launching NG Clearing Limited that will serve as a central counterparty for exchange-traded derivative contracts, thus ensuring more transparency in the Nigerian capital markets. The visionary efforts of the Oscar Onyema team at the NSE is now paying off with the creation of another market institution to support the acceleration of the growth and development of the Nigerian capital market. The next decade presages exponential growth for the Nigerian capital markets as national and subnational governments will have been weaned from dependency on revenues from crude oil and become more financially disciplined and hopefully more reliant on the capital markets. This is therefore the time to create the frameworks, institutions, and infrastructure that will facilitate greater market transparency, increase trading volumes, and ensure efficiency and competitiveness in the Nigerian capital market. With the size of the Nigerian economy in the continent, we rightly should be the gateway for capital into African markets. It is my hope that with the launch of NG Clearing Limited today, we are taking a giant step in that direction. I congratulate the Nigerian Exchange Group PLC, the Central Securities Clearing System, and other promoters of NG Clearing Limited, while wishing you more successes in the years ahead.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First, I'd like to congratulate the chairman of the board of NG Clearing, Oscar Onyema, for all his work, hard work, insights in helping to develop and advance the Nigerian capital markets. Let me also congratulate the management led by Tapas for this wonderful initiative. What we're doing today, in my viewpoint, will help to accelerate, deepen the Nigerian capital markets. It will open opportunities for derivatives and other advanced financial products in Nigeria, as you see in other parts of the world. And I hope that others across the continent will take advantage of this also. It's about time we had a vibrant, strong middle class. And this, in my viewpoint, is one of the things that will help us get there. It's also a platform, a product that will help our big corporates to get bigger. And we need that. I've always said that intersection of economic prosperity, business successes, and social wealth is what we need to propel and take our continent to the next level. As most of you know, I'm big on Africa. We have investment in over 23 African countries, and we'll keep investing. We have seen that a deep capital market, a deep financial market, is very good for economic development and advancement of the people. So today, what we are witnessing here will go a long way in helping to catalyze and develop our continent in more fundamental ways than you can imagine. In the past 60 years, the Nigerian Exchange Group has helped to catalyze, develop, fund many companies. I speak as a beneficiary through the companies I'm associated with. United Bank for Africa, Africa's global bank that operates in 20 African countries and 3 global financial centers, New York, London, and Paris, is a beneficiary of the Nigerian capital markets through its listing and capital raising. Transcorp, Nigeria's leading conglomerate, is quoted on the Nigerian exchange. And we have gone to the market several times to raise money, and this has helped in driving our growth plans. Africa Prudential, leading registrar business in Nigeria, is one. and of course, United Capital, the leading investment banking group that is the toast of the market. We have seen how the capital markets has helped to advance our growth. And I want to say today that NG Clearing, this platform, what you're doing today, will go a long way in helping other companies and other individuals actualize their economic growth opportunities and aspirations. So thank you to Oscar, thank you Tapas, thank you to the board, and thank you to the larger council of the exchange for making this possible. We appreciate all your efforts, and we want to take advantage of that. And I want to encourage others to take advantage of this too, so that collectively we can have more prosperity in Nigeria and in Africa. Good luck.
There you have it. More support for NG Clearing from His Excellency the Governor of Edo State and of course Mr. Tony Elumelu. And he obviously mentioned the great benefits that Nigeria's capital market has provided for his business, or should I say businesses. And we look forward to NG Clearing taking that further. I really look forward to when we'll see those derivatives launched and the impact that they can have. And I'm really excited about the impact that they can have on commodities trading. As we begin to round up now, well, like I mentioned earlier, we have come to, should I say, the high point of today's program, as I invite the representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, who is represented today by Mr. Paul Kanu, who is the Head of Department for Multilateral Monitoring and Research. So please, if you can put your hands together for him as I welcome him to the stage to declare NG Clearing open. Please, can we put our hands together for him? He's not here?
Good afternoon, all. I'm here on behalf of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and I'm also, first of all, going to tender an unflinching apology for his absence. You understand he's pressing other engagements in the office. So he has asked me to sit in for him, and permit me also to stand on the existing protocol that has been established. And I'm here to read his speech, and it goes this way. It is with great delight that I address us all here today on this significant occasion of the Nigerian capital market in particular, and the overall growth of our economy in general. My presence here today to deliver this special remark is a further testament that the federal government, under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, is committed to seeing that the private sector begin to and continues to play a significant role in the growth and development of our economy. Today's formal launch of West African Capital Clearing Counterparty signifies a broadening of available financial institutions in Nigeria to help in curtailing the shocks that are always bound to happen in any economy, especially in these days of globalization. I am very sure I am not as qualified as many of you gathered here to speak on the benefit of what the reduction of settlement risks by netting of certain transactions between multiple parties can do to galvanizing our economy. However, it is important that I mention the need for us to guard against the very risks which we are trying to neutralize. At this juncture, permit me to congratulate the board, the management and staff of NG Clearing Limited for this remarkable achievement in annals of our financial institution. Of course, with the caliber of the board members, I am not surprised that such innovative idea is being practicalized. It also gives me comfort that NG Clearing Limited will expand opportunities for deepening financial inclusion in Nigeria. As we are all aware, Nigeria emerged from 2 recessions against global economic predictions and continues to grow stronger from the setback of the COVID-19 pandemic because we are able to see and use opportunities from the challenges brought by the pandemic. This resilience was made possible by innovative and value-driven institutions like NG Clearing Limited, who continues to create opportunities and contribute to the infrastructure base we dearly need as a country. Infrastructure of all types is critical to stimulate sustained growth and development in any economy. This is why the establishment of critical infrastructure has been the core of Mr. President's agenda and spending. It is for this reason that infrastructure is among the 6 clusters to which the newly approved 2021 to 2025 National Development Plan is structured. Mr. President's commitment to creating enabling infrastructure is hinged on the fact that when the right infrastructure is in place, development and growth are enabled in positive ramification that we are unable to readily fathom. This administration thereby paid laser-focused attention to development of world-class infrastructure, physical infrastructure, aimed at stimulating trade and investment. As we pay attention to the physical infrastructure, we did not lose sight of the facilitatory impact of non-physical infrastructure, especially in the financial and involving information, communication, and technological age. Some of the results of this dual focus are beginning to show signs in sustaining our economy in the face of growing global economics disruption, including the growing influence of startups in our economy. Therefore, this formal launch of Central Counterparty, which signposts the development of an infrastructure that enables our capital market, financial sector, and economy in general to attain new heights and remain relevant in the global financial system, is worthy of government's unflinching support. We are proud to this laudable achievement as it complements federal government's effort in creating and expanding opportunities that broadens our economic base and improves capital inflows. Apart from giving us leverage among emerging markets, stands shoulder to shoulder with advanced economy in terms of financial infrastructure. It is positioning Nigeria well to optimize the benefits of the African Free Continental Area Agreement. Nigeria and indeed the global financial community will always remember Nigerian Clearing CCP services is a key component of the financial infrastructure foundation that contributed to propelling our economy towards the prosperous and resilient future. As a first of its kind infrastructure in West African sub-region, we understand that there will be gaps in legislation to be filled, and I want to assure you of federal government support in ensuring that NG Clearing strives in its goal in improving the safety and stability of the financial system in Nigeria within the ambit of the present emerging legislation remains guaranteed. It is important to reiterate that the need of proper management and adequate capitalization in order to ensure that the survival of Central Counterparty in the event of any significant default. I am confident that NG Clearing Limited, which represents a new branch in our economic tree, would have the good cognizance of these possibilities. It is my hope that this branch will strive successfully and bear fruits of good for the good people of Nigeria and our country. Once more, I congratulate the board, the management, and staff of NG Clearing Limited. Similarly, I want to also congratulate the stakeholders of the Nigerian financial system industry, especially the capital market, for this epochal event. I want to close by reassuring you that government's commitment in providing the necessary support for the expansion of Nigerian economy. I hereby formally unveil NG Clearing Limited to the market. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
So, Mr. Kanu, please, I'm going to trouble you a little bit. And we know you've done the unveiling, but what I'm going to do now is to welcome board members of NG Clearing, the board of director members of NG Clearing who are present. Please, if you kindly join Mr. Kanu on the stage. I also welcome the management of NG Clearing that are also here. So we can obviously take a nice photograph of this moment. And then I'm going to also appeal to you again to do that unveiling just one more time. Just as you just said, just declare it open, and there's going to be a little, should I say, drama around that. So if I can please have the directors who are present to join us on the stage, thank you very much, and also members of the management of NG Clearing who are here as well. Please can we put our hands together for them as they step forward? Thank you very much. So if we can just flank him. Photographers can just direct us. If you can have Mr. Kanu in the middle, thank you very much. Can we have some help moving this? Thank you very much, so we can have a clear sight of our speakers and directors. That was the drama I spoke of. Please, a round of applause again for the team at NG Clearing. If you can just say it again one more time, though the confetti is all over the place already.
At this juncture, I hereby formally unveil NG Clearing Limited to the market.
We are almost done. Very shortly we'll be taking a vote of thanks, but there's just one more person we must hear from before we close. I know there are no derivatives made to address our appetite, so I can assure you food is coming the traditional way right after this. So, if I can have some help bringing this back up, thank you very much. Our vote of thanks will also be delivered virtually, but before that, as I mentioned, there is one more person that we need to hear from. Now, the capital markets infrastructure is, if you like, a subset of the broader financial market infrastructure. And so we certainly must listen to a representative of the Central Bank of Nigeria, and we have the pleasure of listening now to the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, as she delivers her address to us. Please turn your attentions to the screen as we hear from Mrs. Aisha Ahmad.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm most delighted to join you at this epoch-making event, the grand launch of NG Clearing's Central Counterparty Clearing Services in the Nigerian capital market, the first of its kind in West Africa. Congratulations. This landmark development is a huge leap forward in the journey towards realizing the significant potential of the Nigerian capital market, which is crucial to promote growth and development of the economy. I commend the collaborative effort of the Nigeria Exchange Group PLC, Central Securities and Clearing System PLC, and the diverse investors that has put together this critical platform. NG Clearing has chosen to launch the CCP at a very auspicious moment, considering the increased focus on intra and inter-African trade, the African Continental Free Trade Area, and the Pan-African Payments and Settlement System. all of which require robust and fully developed payments, financial systems, and capital markets to thrive. The setup of NG Clearing will accelerate the growth and development of the Nigerian capital market and definitely position it as a gateway to the African market. NG Clearing CCP services should enhance prospects for both deepening the Nigerian capital market through the introduction of a clearing platform for derivatives, commodities, and other financial instruments, and ensuring a strong and resilient market offering better protection to all participants. Investors should see many benefits that are not readily available in the OTC trading system, such as increased liquidity, reduction of default risk, trade transparency, and improved efficiency and competitiveness as products are progressively developed to hedge diverse risk exposures. The plan for the CCP to cover exchange-traded commodities instruments is remarkable, as it will aid the fledgling commodities trading market in Nigeria, particularly trading, clearing, and settlement systems for commodities. This is a vital component of the government's ongoing efforts to reposition the Nigerian Commodity Exchange (NCX) and reform the commodities trading ecosystem. The Nigerian financial system, and indeed its capital markets, has evolved greatly over time, with significant changes in market depth, variety of financial instruments, and types of participants, whilst business models have been transformed due to digitalization and technological innovation. Whilst regulators support innovation that addresses the needs of the market, they must be vigilant for the risks to preserve financial stability, protect and promote market integrity, and boost investor confidence. In conclusion, permit me to touch on a theme that has taken center stage in recent global discussions: climate change. This is arguably the most significant risk facing the world, with potential to create existential threats to the financial system. The financial markets, particularly the derivative markets, will be expected to play a critical role in the pursuit of a just transition to a carbon-neutral economy by 2060. There is still room for innovation and creation of climate-related derivative products that would allow counterparties hedge climate-related risks. The NGX must also actively request for adequate disclosures of climate-related and ESG-related risk issues, and support initiatives to promote financial and operational sustainability in listed companies. Ladies and gentlemen, the path to achieving deep, fully developed capital markets is long and will not be without its challenges. But we are well on our way, and we are making good progress on this journey. Today's launch of NG Clearing's central counterparty is one such step that gets us ever closer. Congratulations once more to NG Clearing for this laudable initiative, and I wish you the very best of luck. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Aisha Hamad, for your message. And she did say congratulations. Congratulations, obviously, to NG Clearing, but I will say also congratulations to Nigeria's financial system and the broader capital market. On that note, I'd like to now turn your attention to one more time to the screen as we take a virtual presentation of a vote of thanks. And this time it will be delivered by Dr. Herbert Wigwe, who is also a director at NG Clearing, but he's well known as the CEO and Group Managing Director of Access Bank.
On behalf of the Board of Directors, Management and Staff of NG Clearing, I want to thank you all for attending this launch ceremony, which marks a new beginning in the Nigerian capital market. A new beginning of deeper and stronger markets and of enormous opportunities for local and international investors. I want to extend a very hearty appreciation To all the speakers for sharing with us today their thoughts, their kind words, and congratulatory messages. Very special thanks to the Securities and Exchange Commission for the continuous support provided to NG Clearing till date, and for its work in ensuring that our market is conducive to local and international investors. I also thank all our key stakeholders who have worked and collaborated with us in ensuring that our CCP business becomes a reality. We've been fortunate today to have at this event renowned personalities across the country who have attended physically and virtually. We want to thank you for your participation. Special thanks also goes to our shareholders, my fellow board members and management of NG Clearing for making what was once an idea a reality, and we have all converged to celebrate. Ladies and gentlemen, the work has only just begun, and all hands must be on deck to ensure that we maximize the opportunities of having a CCP such as NG Clearing Limited in our market. Once again, I want to thank you all for making this event a success and wish you safe travels to all your various destinations. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wigwe, for your message. And thank you all for attending this event. And we are done. As I mentioned, we're now going to transit to lunch. There are no derivatives involved this time. It's going to be regular food. And you would obviously see some ushers around you. Please just share your choices with them, and they will be happy to take your order. But before that, I would like you to also, I would like to invite a few more people, if you don't mind, if I can crave your indulgence. We need to take some photographs, and I would like to now invite the chairman of NG Clearing, Mr. Oscar Onyema. I also would like to invite the chairman of the NGX Group, Mr. Ogunbanjo, also to join us on stage, as well as Temi Kokola, the CEO of NG Exchange, Tinuade Awe, the CEO of NGX Regulation, and Mr. Haruna Jallo Waziri, the CEO of the CSCS. If you would be so kind to join us on stage. Oh, and of course, no doubt, the CEO of NG Clearing as well, Mr. Tapas. Please, if you can all join me here on stage as we take a quick photograph. Thank you very much. If I can get some help with this podium again, thank you very much. My apologies. Can we also have the representative of the SEC join them on stage for this photograph? Mr. Tilde, please, if you can join us as well. Thank you very much. Right, if we can All right, if we can take the photograph. I would also like to take one more after this. So if we can take this, and then I will invite another set of people to take one more photograph. I'm so sorry, the chairman of the House Committee as well, who is present, please, if you can join us as well for this. My sincere apologies for not inviting you earlier, please. Thank you so much. Please, can we just hold on for him to join them on stage? Thank you. Thank you. All right, and I would like to also welcome thank you very much. Tapas, if you can just hold on, please. I would like to welcome other CEOs of other exchanges present. For example, the NEST. All the CEOs of other exchange present, please, if we can have you join Tapas on stage for a photograph as well. Thank you very much. can have the representative of the Lagos Commodity and Futures Exchange as well, Mr. Akeredolu, please. Thank you very much. Also, Mr. Egu, please, if you are still here, Mr. Egu, representative of the Nigeria Commodities Exchange, if you can join them on stage, please. Thank you very much. Oh, NGX as well, please. So, Temi Popola, if you do not mind, can we have you again on the stage just for a moment? Thank you so much. This is an opportunity to capture so many exchanges in a photograph. Thank you very much. And while you enjoy your meal, please turn your attention to the screen as you get the perspective of the Board of Directors of NG Clearing as they tell their story about the vision and the journey ahead.
In a world full of possibilities, many opportunities remain obscure until the right vision, structure, and people come together. For us, it is an assembly of a number of institutional investors, brokerage houses, and players in the Nigerian banking space.
Clearing and settlement of financial transactions is crucial for the smooth functioning of any financial ecosystem. Beyond ensuring buyer and the sellers fulfill their obligations, CCPs offer efficiency through netting of these obligations. That way, the cost is reduced and efforts are not unnecessarily duplicated across the ecosystem.
There are a few things we expect from NG Clearing. We believe that it will help us not only unlock new opportunities for foreign investors and local investors, it will also, through its loss mitigation mechanism, help us protect and reduce risk in our financial markets. I believe that we are going to be embarking on a new era, and I want to thank my colleagues on the board as we embark on this journey together. I'm hopeful of the opportunities that this will create, not just for local investors, but also for international investors.
As a key player in the financial services sector, I've seen our entire industry, as well as our economy, go through storied periods of growth. But amidst growth and decline, I think that our economy continues to forge ahead because of certain key aspects of our entire financial services sector. Speaking about market infrastructure, I think we've been able to create very robust institutions out in Nigeria. We've also been able to create very strong payment systems, proper depositories if you like, and also strong trading platforms. But one thing that is missing in all of this is the strong presence of a proper CCP player. And this is, in my mind, the last aspect of a jigsaw puzzle that will be responsible for the creation of a very strong and robust financial services infrastructure.
As you know, NG Clear has developed a world-class technology system that also facilitates markets from a safety perspective within the international standards that's known as CPMI IOSCO. The trailblazing approach that we created in standardizing the process of clearing and settlement procedures that reinforce the integrity of our market has already been established.
This helps ensure a safer, more resilient, deeper and transparent market for knowledgeable local and foreign investors who are seeking a diversified portfolio of investments within the Nigerian capital market.
The emergence of NG Clearing is to support the acceleration, growth and development of the Nigerian capital market. and position it as the gateway to African markets and to strengthen its position as a leader amongst its peers in emerging markets. At NG Clearing, we're creating a resilient organization that can respond efficiently to the ever-changing financial system and to the divergent needs of all investors in our financial landscape.
For us at NG Clearing Limited, having a best-in-class CCP that operates under acceptable global standards was a great move towards bringing market participants together with common incentives to help safeguard the market.
To support the Nigerian economy in achieving its potential, it is imperative to implement critical market infrastructure that will deliver strategic services essential to injecting additional efficiencies into our financial markets. I am certain that establishing NG Clearing Limited to further close the gap in our financial markets infrastructure will strengthen operational efficiency and enhance financial system stability.
All financial markets are exposed to different forms of risk. Hence, adaptive institutional measures are put in place to mitigate such risk. Thus, as the market matures, it is important that new structures emerge to meet the demands of an ever-changing financial market landscape. With NG Clearing as Nigeria's premier CCP, our financial market has added another concrete risk mitigation element to its core. Not only is the market able to take advantage of the clear opportunities in the derivatives market, the market also has a structural buffer that further improves its overall profile and outlook through the functions to be performed by NG Clearing as a CCP.
Following approval of the Securities and Exchange Commission in June 2021, NG Clearing has emerged as Nigeria's first central counterparty clearing house, also known as CCP. This is a manifestation of the maturity of the Nigerian capital market and a marker that this possibility, once obscure, has been refined and is now clear for everyone to see and partake.
Investing in our financial market infrastructure is key to the strategy of the NSIA, and this has also informed our investment in NG Clearing Limited. We believe that significant financial voids exist in our financial markets, and as a consequence, this company will be one of those that will fill out those voids in developing our financial markets infrastructure. We believe that this will be a preeminent CCP in West Africa and open up a new era of possibilities.
Being Nigeria's pioneer central counterparty and with the excellence of our people, NG Clearing Limited is well positioned to deliver on its promise to enhance the post-trade services value chain for a safer and more resilient financial system. Welcome to NG Clearing.
Above all, guaranteeing the settlement of trades to mitigate the risk of settlement failures will boost confidence of all market participants, generate trust in the financial system, and promote integrity of the market. These are some of the integral parts of business of NG Clearing Limited. Our goal is to help preserve market safety through technology and efficient processes.
Nigeria's financial market today has come of age, and it will start offering derivatives, which is not been seen before, especially exchange traded. This exposes, if you know, our market into new forms of risks that are probably our current structure might not be able to facilitate or mitigate. But with NG Clearing, certainly stakeholders can understand and take full advantage of this opportunity without increasing the risk in the market. Honestly, I can't wait to see the new heights this CCP will bring to our economy and our capital markets. Thank you.
I am extremely excited at the great opportunities that come with the introduction of a central clearing platform like the one that NG Clearing is bringing to bear out here in Nigeria. And it brings very clear opportunities for market participants to take advantage of and to ensure that the overall financial services sector becomes even more robust as far as clearing is concerned. I am, like I said, very privileged and opportuned to be part of all of this, and I do hope you will all take the advantage of it as well.
We therefore seek to facilitate greater market transparency, increase trade volumes, and overall improve the efficiency and competitiveness of the Nigerian capital market. We can only do this effectively by innovation and continuously craving and improving on the development of our financial system. It is with extreme pleasure that I therefore welcome you to the NG Clearing era.
With NG Clearing, we have made known our intent of positioning the Nigerian capital market as a reference point for world-class opportunities, capabilities, and processes. I thank my fellow directors and NG Clearing management for working so hard to actualize our CCP possibilities. In a world full of possibilities, many opportunities remain obscure until the right vision, structure, and people come together. For us, it is an assembly of a number of institutional investors, brokerage houses, and players in the Nigerian banking space.
Clearing and settlement of financial transactions is crucial for the smooth functioning of any financial ecosystem. Beyond ensuring buyer and the sellers fulfill their obligations, CCPs offer efficiency through netting of these obligations. That way, the cost is reduced and efforts are not unnecessarily duplicated across the ecosystem.
There are a few things we expect from NG Clearing. We believe that it will help us not only unlock new opportunities for foreign investors and local investors, it will also, through its loss mitigation mechanism, help us protect and reduce risk in our financial markets. I believe that we are going to be embarking on a new era, and I want to thank my colleagues on the board as we embark on this journey together. I'm hopeful of the opportunities that this will create, not just for local investors, but also for international investors.
As a key player in the financial services sector, I've seen our entire industry, as well as our economy, go through storied periods of growth. But amidst growth and decline, I think that our economy continues to forge ahead because of certain key aspects of our entire financial services sector. Speaking about market infrastructure, I think we've been able to create very robust institutions out in Nigeria. We've also been able to create very strong payment systems, proper depositories if you like, and also strong trading platforms. But one thing that is missing in all of this is the strong presence of a proper CCP player. And this is, in my mind, the last aspect of a jigsaw puzzle that will be responsible for the creation of a very strong and robust financial services infrastructure.
As you know, NG Clear has developed a world-class technology system that also facilitates markets from a safety perspective within the international standards that's known as CPMI IOSCO. The trailblazing approach that we created in standardizing the process of clearing and settlement procedures that reinforce the integrity of our market has already been established.
This helps ensure a safer, more resilient, deeper and transparent market for knowledgeable local and foreign investors who are seeking a diversified portfolio of investments within the Nigerian capital market.
The emergence of NG Clearing is to support the acceleration, growth and development of the Nigerian capital market and position it as the gateway to African markets and to strengthen its position as a leader amongst its peers in emerging markets. At NG Clearing, we're creating a resilient organization that can respond efficiently to the ever-changing financial system and to the divergent needs of all investors in our financial landscape.
For us at NG Clearing Limited, having a best-in-class CCP that operates under acceptable global standards was a great move towards bringing market participants together with common incentives to help safeguard the market.
To support the Nigerian economy in achieving its potential, it is imperative to implement critical market infrastructure that will deliver strategic services essential to injecting additional efficiencies into our financial markets. I am certain that establishing NG Clearing Limited to further close the gap in our financial markets infrastructure will strengthen operational efficiency and enhance financial system stability.
All financial markets are exposed to different forms of risk. Hence, adaptive institutional measures are put in place to mitigate such risk. Thus, as the market matures, it is important that new structures emerge to meet the demands of an ever-changing financial market landscape. With NG Clearing as Nigeria's premier CCP, our financial market has added another concrete risk mitigation element to its core. Not only is the market able to take advantage of the clear opportunities in the derivatives market, the market also has a structural buffer that further improves its overall profile and outlook through the functions to be performed by NG Clearing as a CCP.
Following approval of the Securities and Exchange Commission in June 2021, NG Clearing has emerged as Nigeria's first central counterparty clearing house, also known as CCP. This is a manifestation of the maturity of the Nigerian capital market and a marker that this possibility, once obscure, has been refined and is now clear for everyone to see and partake.
Investing in our financial market infrastructure is key to the strategy of the NSIA, and this has also informed our investment in NG Clearing Limited. We believe that significant financial voids exist in our financial markets, and as a consequence, this company will be one of those that will fill out those voids in developing our financial markets infrastructure. We believe that this will be a preeminent CCP in West Africa and open up a new era of possibilities.
Being Nigeria's pioneer central counterparty and with the excellence of our people, NG Clearing Limited is well positioned to deliver on its promise to enhance the post-trade services value chain for a safer and more resilient financial system. Welcome to NG Clearing.
Above all, guaranteeing the settlement of trades to mitigate the risk of settlement failures will boost confidence of all market participants, generate trust in the financial system, and promote integrity of the market. These are some of the integral parts of business of NG Clearing Limited. Our goal is to help preserve market safety through technology and efficient processes.
Nigeria's financial market today has come of age, and it will start offering derivatives, which is not been seen before, especially exchange traded. This exposes, if you know, our market into new forms of risks that are probably our current structure might not be able to facilitate or mitigate. But with NG Clearing, certainly stakeholders can understand and take full advantage of this opportunity without increasing the risk in the market. Honestly, I can't wait to see the new heights this CCP will bring to our economy and our capital markets. Thank you.
I am extremely excited at the great opportunities that come with the introduction of a central clearing platform like the one that NG Clearing is bringing to bear out here in Nigeria. And it brings very clear opportunities for market participants to take advantage of and to ensure that the overall financial services sector becomes even more robust as far as clearing is concerned. I am, like I said, very privileged and opportuned to be part of all of this, and I do hope you will all take the advantage of it as well.
We therefore seek to facilitate greater market transparency, increase trade volumes, and overall improve the efficiency and competitiveness of the Nigerian capital market. We can only do this effectively by innovation and continuously craving and improving on the development of our financial system. It is with extreme pleasure that I therefore welcome you to the NG Clearing era.
With NG Clearing, we have made known our intent of positioning the Nigerian capital market as a reference point for world-class opportunities, capabilities, and processes. I thank my fellow directors and NG Clearing management for working so hard to actualize our CCP possibilities.